right, so there are only two ways to know if your website is a disability friendly or not. The first one is to wait until you get sued. And second is ask a professional for help. Recently, I could not open the bank account because they have inaccessible form. I could not order my favorite item because their shopping cart was not optimized to blind and people with motor dexterities. I could not book my flight because their date selection was impossible. Now, I'll ask you to close your eyes and ask yourself, try to think for a second. How would you feel if you were not able to do something on the web simply because it was not accessible for you? And how would you feel if your child, for example, was in a similar position? Now, let's try to ask someone from the audience, maybe someone from the first or second row. Do you feel infuriated, sad, maybe excited, happy? Okay, angry. Well, you should be happy, especially if you are the e-commerce business owner. See, over 90% of websites and web stores have certain accessibility errors or obstacles that may prevent people with disabilities to buy. Now, most e-commerce business owners do not see us as clients. They think we are poor, never shop online, and there is no ROI, return of investment, from being accessible. Well, nothing can be further from the truth. See, Fable, the leading accessibility testing platform, discovered that people with disabilities shop online nearly twice as doubled as the general population. Tesco, the leading UK's supermarket chain, invested in accessibility about £35,000, which brought an additional revenue of over £13 million over a year. Retailers from the USA, like e-commerce retailers, reported a loss of over $828 million during the 2021 holiday season due to the web store inaccessibility. Now, what does all of this mean for your business? I guess that these numbers may sound pointless. Recently, a few years ago, my internet service provider offered me the personalized email service for $20 yearly. And I happily accepted it. Now, soon enough, I realized that I will not be able to use it because it is not accessible. So I switched to way more expensive one, but 100% accessible solution costing $93.6 yearly, and no way that I'm going to change it. Now, people with disabilities are very loyal customers because finding another vendor may be time-consuming and they may require much effort. And so because of this, they really appreciate what you're doing. They're very grateful for experience your business provides and will definitely recommend your services further, constantly bringing you new clients. If you are selling in the USA, you must be disability friendly by law. Otherwise, you may get fined, sued of course, faced with a PR nightmare, lose the future revenue, have a brand reputation decreased, and also reduce SEO ranking. Winn-Dixie stores had to pay $250,000, HR Block $45,000, and Netflix $750,000 due to inaccessibility. So yeah, you will save a lot if you invest in accessibility beforehand. Now, on June 28, 2025, European Accessibility Act comes into force. Companies that sell in the EU, regardless of their registered location, and have more than 10 employees and 2 million euros in revenue are subjected to this and must have their websites and stores available to disabled audience. Each EU member state already depicted the governmental body where disabled users will be able to file complaints if they think that certain content is not available to them. Each member state has also determined fines ranging from 50,000 to 500,000 euros. Okay, so now, how to achieve accessibility? Well, in 3 easy steps. You know, some teams, some companies have their websites, have their internal development teams inside that are dedicated to accessibility, and this is perfectly fine. But most companies that are just starting this journey usually engage external consultants. And so there are many ways how to achieve accessibility. I will be telling the most popular ones, but this one is the best. So the first step is that an external accessibility consultant checks your website. They do the audit. The result of this audit is a comprehensive report. It contains all accessibility issues across disabilities and solutions. Step number 2. The internal development team implement fixes based on the instructions provided. Step 3. The external consultant checks and verifies, confirms the fixes are properly implemented and issues the appropriate accessibility certificate. Now, but getting technically accessible is not enough to see the return of investment. In order to do this, and so in order for this to happen, accessibility must become part of your marketing and branding strategy. So it must be integrated into this. And here are a couple of suggestions on how to do it. So you can, for example, create the PR campaign and emphasize importance of accessibility for your company. You can also share accessibility statement and the obtained certificate from time to time through your social networks. Join groups gathering people with disabilities, promote your product there, and emphasize the fact that you are accessible and that they can actually use it and buy it from there. Finally, ask a person with disability to do the video that shows how easy it is to place an order with you. And sure, share it further. Okay. Now, as mentioned, this is not the only way that you can achieve accessibility. You can definitely leave it to your own developers, your own development teams. But the problem is that most developers do lack knowledge on accessible coding and finding and fixing accessibility issues. I just recently had a call with a CEO of a medium-sized company, and I asked, so can you tell me how do you approach accessibility? And he was like, okay, so we are accessible by default, our developers know all of this. Now, never say this to accessibility professional, because we definitely can catch something. And then I found a very huge accessibility issue on his website and showed this to him because we were on a Zoom call and said, look, if your developers were that skilled, I would be able to complete this operation, right? So, you know, you really need to choose with who you're working with when you're accessibility tester. Okay, you know, accessibility is relatively new industry, and all of this may sound pointless and unprofitable, etc. But let me tell you something else. 87 companies report better brand reputation. 85 said that they have increased customer retention, and 81% report more clients after embracing accessibility. There are so many myths about accessibility. The first one is that, for example, it helps only people with disabilities who are usually not our clients. That's definitely wrong. Accessibility is essential for some, true, but beneficial for all. See, accessible websites and stores are easy to use for everyone, so more clients. Accessible websites have better SEO ranking, and they are more visible on social media, so it can skyrocket your brand reputation and basically bring you not only disabled, but clients from the general population. Another myth is that you need to significantly change your design so your website will not look the same. So you need to sacrifice design for accessibility. This is also wrong. You know, it does not require a lot of design changes, so most accessibility issues can be done from the code level. Right? So your website stays the same or even looks more beautiful and is, again, available to way more people than it has been before. Some people think that fixing accessibility issues, like achieving accessibility takes months or years. This is also wrong. It usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to obtain the audit results, and then have about 4 to, let's say, 6 weeks to have everything fixed. You can also, just ask some agencies who do that done-for-you service to help you with your accessibility. But I think that's a wrong way, because then developers, they will make your website accessible, that's true, but you will not know how they made it. So this is like fishing instead of teaching you how to fish. When I came here to speak, I came with a couple of goals. So the first one is to get web accessibility closer to you, to help you save money, to help you make some money from accessibility, and make accessibility your ongoing, let's say, practice. Now, when developers change their websites based on the instructions provided by accessibility experts who did this countless times before, they definitely know what is the best accessibility practice and can apply that knowledge into the future projects. And again, my goal here is also to help you get less dependent on external accessibility consultants and accessibility agencies, because we are partners in this job, this industry, so to speak. Again, there is nothing wrong with having an external consultant recheck your website from time to time, but again, I really want to make you succeed here. Okay, so over the last couple of years, I checked over 300 e-commerce websites. So here are a couple of errors that are the most frequent and how to avoid them. Dynamic carousels. So the carousel rotates round and round and round. And it is not only problematic for people who are blind, but also for people with epilepsy. The rotation can cause seizures. Make sure you allow people to pause the carousel from rotating. Unlabeled form fields. Imagine you clicked the checkout button and want to make a purchase, and instead of first name and last name, you hear edit, 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 edit. So, this means that forms are not labeled properly, and basically users don't know what they are supposed to enter here, including the credit card number they cannot make a payment. Okay, then another issue is that the price, when prices are embedded into a picture, into image. And so you scroll through the product, you want to buy something, and you hear price, unlabeled image. So how much does it cost? In this case, please try to either put the alt text and make sure the alt text is visible, place the price outside of the image, which would be my suggestion, or at least add a screen reader only text, which will basically keep your look the same, but screen reader users will be able to hear the price. Then, color contrasts. So sometimes when colors are not distinguishable, people who cannot see colors well, so who are colorblind, are not able to differentiate the content, for example, the links from the rest of the page. Now, I would like you to see the video that shows an accessible shopping experience, so you can actually understand what the experience should look like from the user of a screen reader, so basically for the blind in this case, but this website is very accessible for all. Now let's try to buy something through belladoll.com website. Let me press Ctrl plus Home, and then I will do my down arrow key a couple of times. Then I will press Enter on Shop All. Okay, so I see that the new page is now open. Let me press H for heading.
Shop all heading level 1.
Shop all. I will do my down arrow key a couple of times again to scroll through the content.
Button collapse toggle filter menu. Button collapse toggle for menu.
I see that filter and filter options are available.
New. Button delivery lines. Button music lines. Link home. Shop all. List with 24 items. Link graphic fill out by low. Link press coastal light print.
So let's say that I want this track.
Link graphic fill out by low. Link press coastal light print. Use. Link graphic fill out by low. Link press coastal light print.
So I pressed enter and I'm now presented with a new page. Let me press H again. So I pressed my down arrow key and heard that it will cost me $194. I also see that the size radio button. Yeah, size radio buttons are accessible. I'll choose S. Press the space bar, and then I will press B for button. And I will press enter here because I heard add to back. Okay, so I'm now presented with a cart. Let me do my down arrow key a couple of times. Size S, color. Increase quantity button is also accessible. Let me press B. I can also remove this product from the shopping cart if I wish. View cart, checkout. Let's press enter and checkout. And I'm now presented with sets of edit fields. Let's press tab to traverse through them. Country, first name, last name, address, I'm just tapping, and as you can hear, all edit fields are readily available and announced as expected. I hear pay now button. I press B. Pay now button. You see the difference. Dear friends, accessibility is a journey, not a destination. And the hardest part of every journey is the first step. Good luck. Well, I didn't expect that ovations. So I'm now ready for your questions, if you have something.
Thank you for this talk. I have a question. Is the average WooCommerce website out of the box, the default theme and so on, is this accessible? And if not, what are the typical issues?
Okay, so basically, honestly, I don't know. Because I never had the chance to see like the WooCommerce website from scratch. But what I know that Shopify websites are quite accessible, and especially their shopping cart as well. Usually when we test e-commerce websites, we try to address all accessibility issues that we find. But in order to give you the most accurate answer, I would really need to see the website. So if you want, feel free to drop me the link of the website you want me to check, and I will definitely, at least give you some, general information about it. I think that would do the trick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I would like to know which testing tools you could recommend.
Well, usually we do manual testing because the automated testing tools can detect only up to 30% of accessibility issues. But if you're just starting out and want to try something, I would recommend you Wave and X by DQ.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, I don't know if it feels the same way for others too, but to me the sound of the voice that was used at the website, it was really hard for me to distinguish what was actually being said.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is it okay? Is it something that people get used to after some time, or is there any other option that might sound less robotic?
That is the million-dollar question. So basically, yes, there are many options on the market that basically, especially over the last couple of years, the speech technology market really developed. There are a lot of natural voices. This one is robotic. But now I will tell you the reason why I'm using this one exactly and why this voice is very popular. So, of course, among the blind community who started using PCs 20 years ago and even longer when, and even before when other solutions were not present and were not available. So this voice sounds robotic, yes, but I can tell you that I slowed down the speed just for you. I usually use it by about 20% at about 10% faster rate. Yeah. No, it sounds robotic, but it's to me and the other blind folks, it's very pleasant to hear, very clear and understandable, and most importantly, it is very responsive. It only weighs about 7 megabytes. It's lightweight. And again, when you press Tab or any other key, you want the fast response. You want the immediate reaction from a screen reader. You don't want to wait a second. And the problem with these high-quality natural voices is that they are not that responsive and not so pleasant to use at high speeds. So that's why.
Wow, thank you very much.
But again, this only refers to our, so to speak, old folks who started using speech technologies during the Stone Age, like 20 years ago. Yeah, it is kind of free to download, and if needed, we can discuss this further, and I can give you the exact links and way how can you install it and give it a try. Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone?
Okay then. Yep.
In terms of screen readers, like how is your experience throughout the different screen readers? Like, for example, with macOS VoiceOver, I noticed some parts are not being read out, even if they are up to W3 standards, like accordions and all of that. I was really surprised. Like, how is your experience with different screen readers?
Okay, I don't use Mac, I use Windows. And so I have had experience with JAWS and NVDA. These are the two most popular screen readers. And personally, I do prefer NVDA. If you look at the WebAIMS research, you will see that basically they are spread it equally. So 49% of people who are blind use JAWS, and about 49% or 48% of them are using NVDA. The rest percentage goes to other SR solutions. To me, NVDA is better because, again, it is very responsive, as you could see. It does not crash. And it has everything I need. You don't have to install it. I mean, you have to install it, but the installation is smooth. NVDA is very lightweight. There is also the portable version available, so you can just plug and play. Basically, that's it. I do prefer NVDA, and I use it every day, both for my private and professional work. As for the and professional life, sorry. As for the cell phone is concerned, I use Android, and I don't use TalkBack. I use a Chinese screen reader called Chishua. Commentary. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yep. But this one is not on a Google Play. So, again, I know that I'm kind of a strange user.
I have one question. Maybe what are some examples, if you can think of any, where you see somebody tried to make an improvement, but actually it doesn't help you at all, or it made it even worse, maybe?
A lot of them. A lot of them. Especially when they use unnecessary ARIA. And then then it reports everything from A to Z and information that you really don't do, that you really don't need. For example, they use lead tag, grouping tag, so you hear a list of 7 items, grouping 1 of 7. Okay, I know this. Right. So yeah, that happens a lot. Unnecessary ARIA is very, very big problem because, again, most developers don't know that that screen reader actually reports most content if this is written in the semantic HTML code. Sometimes they add the nav ARIA to the navigation tag. So the screen reader will report the navigation tag by default, and then you hear nav, navigation, and nav.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, so many
many,
questions.
many thanks on the talk. I would like to ask if there is any website that could be the best accessible website in the world. Can you like 3 websites that you can say worldwide, international?
The most accessible
you.
website. Yeah, the most accessible website is Error 404. It depends. You can never, or it's very difficult to find the 100% available website and accessible website for all, because, accessibility is not 1 + 1 2. Sometimes it is very precise, and in many cases we can tell people what to do, and they do that or not. But, sometimes it depends from the user experience, from the design, etc. Personally, I can say that websites that have already obtained the appropriate accessibility certificates, that, like the one that I showed, that care about accessibility and have the appropriate accessibility statement, which not only tells that the website is accessible, but also allows users to contact developers or, store or whoever, if they find certain accessibility issues, are on the good way to go, so on the right path. Okay.
Yeah, I think we don't have any more questions.
All right, then. It was my pleasure giving this speech. And again, of course, I am around, so if you want to network or chat with me a bit further, sure. Thank you.